What up, Acheron family? Welcome to another edition of the 24 Standards of Acheron. Today's standard number 17, which is to honor your commitments. And this one is pretty dang, it's the most important thing that I have ever encountered in my life, this principle. This is going to be hard to share with you, but I'm going to share it anyway. About 12 years ago, my wife had filed for divorce. I was knee deep in my addiction, and I was destroying her. I destroyed everyone I came in contact with. I was a selfish, mean person that had no regard for anybody else. I was like a tornado just running through people's lives, just causing devastation. And you can just see destruction all in my wake. You can see exactly where I was. And she just didn't have it anymore. She's like, I don't got it anymore. I got to protect myself. I got to protect the kids. I'm out. And she literally filed for divorce. And I talked about it, filed for divorce, like going through the whole process. And I remember just like hearing that, like it was the most devastating news I've ever heard in my life. And I remember begging her, like, Sarah, please, I'm going to change. I'm going to do something different this time. Please don't do this. And she looked at me and she goes, the words that you say mean nothing. You've been promising me and telling me you're going to change and this is going to happen and none of it. I don't believe anything you say. I don't trust anything you say. And that was, again, the most important thing that I had ever heard, the most valuable piece of information I had ever learned in my life. See, I'm a sponsor today. So I sponsor men in recovery. I help guys. This is what I do in my free time. Is I spend several hours each week mentoring guys and helping them and blah, blah, blah. But the first thing I always tell them is, guys, I don't care what you say. I don't trust what you're going to say. I'm going to judge you by the actions that you take. So I'm going to put duct tape over your mouth, and what you tell me doesn't matter. I'm going to judge you by the actions you take and by you doing what you say you're going to do, you showing up when you're going to show up. That will let me know that you're serious about this, because my time is valuable and I'm going to invest my time in you, but I want to know how serious you are. And the words that come out of your mouth mean absolutely nothing. Thank God, luckily I was able to reconcile that marriage. It didn't happen by promises. It didn't happen by a big speech. It happened by me showing up every single day. Me telling her I was going to call her back when I was going to call her back. Me doing all the things that I said I was going to do that I didn't want to do. It didn't matter, because it didn't matter how I felt. I had to start acting different. And it took a lot of time. It took a lot of effort. I remember for that first year of us getting back together, she held those divorce papers. Like anytime I would act up or she would pull that divorce paper out. Like, look, don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. And, later when I started building our wholesale company shortly after that. And I realized that those principles mattered there too. Those are basic principles for life. Not the exact same way, because nothing compares to your family or your wife, but the principle was the same. Your word matters. If I told someone I would call them back, I had to call them back. If I told somebody I would pay them, I had to pay them. If I told someone I would show up, I had to show up exactly when and where I said I was going to show up. If I told something I would handle something, I had to handle it. That is how trust gets built. One commitment at a time. That's how a reputation gets built. One follow through at a time. And that's exactly how a great business is built. Not with big talk, not with excuses, not with, oh, I meant to, but with people knowing that when you say something, that they can count on you. At Acheron, this matters every single day. If you tell the customer you're going to call them back, call them back. If you say a deal will be turned in today, turn it in today. If you say a car will be ready, do everything in your power to make that true. If you tell a coworker you'll handle something, handle it. And if something changes, communicate it early. Because a miscommitment is bad, but a surprise miscommitment is worse. We're not perfect. I'm far from perfect. Nobody here is perfect, except for Felicia or Princess. Princess is perfect. But we can be honest, right? We can be accountable. We can stop casually saying things that we don't intend to do. And we can become people whose words mean something. That's the standard. Like, that's what this thing is about. The same principles that we have in our family, the same principles we have in business. Because every time you keep your word, you make a deposit into trust. And every time you break your word, you make a withdrawal. We want to put more deposits than we do withdrawals. And I want my word to mean something. Because eventually people know that your word is your worth. I want our word as a company to mean something. I want customers, co-workers, vendors, banks, and families to know when we say we're going to do something, we do everything we can to follow through. Here's my call to action. Take a look at one commitment you have made to a customer, to a co-worker, to this company, to your family, or even to yourself. Either complete it or communicate honestly about it. Because trust is not built by what you say. Trust is built by what you say after I will. I messed that one up. Trust is built by what you do after you say I will. Trust is built by what you do after you say I will. Thanks for listening, Acheron family. Peace.